This is the award-winning Lee Pitts Live.
Brought to you by the North Law Firm. For car accidents and negligent security cases, call Joe at 239-337-1191. By Crime Stoppers of Southwest Florida. Report crimes and get paid with nobody knowing your identity. 1-800-700-TIPS. And by Lee Health. Southwest Florida, welcome back to Lee Pitts Live, and I'm so thrilled to have here Trish Routte, the coordinator of the Southwest Florida Crime Stopper. She's always bringing us good information. Let's bump you in, Trish, and just put that cup over there right in front of you. There we go. Trish, we are so fortunate to have an organization like Crime Stoppers in Southwest Florida. I've been meaning to ask you this. Do other places have similar types of organizations, or are we blessed to have Crime Stoppers?
In the state of Florida, almost every single county has got a Crime Stoppers program of some sort, but Crime Stoppers is an international program. So there are programs all throughout the United States and internationally. And although we all operate a little bit differently, we all have the same goal, and that's working with the community and working with law enforcement to try to get those anonymous tips in to solve crimes.
And one of the things I like about our Crime Stoppers is that we make sure that we take advantage of technology. Every time you guys are constantly looking at technology, the bad guys are looking at technology too. Talk about some of the things that we use to take advantage of technology.
The greatest thing, I think, that the most effective thing that we have added to our tool list, so to speak, is the P3 Tips app. So everybody's on their phone night and day, whether you're a teenager or a senior citizen, you're on your phone all the time. Now, when you download that P3 Tips app, it's a free app, you're able to submit a tip right there on your phone. If you happen to see a hit and run, you're able to take a picture from your phone and upload that immediately to the tip. You can upload video, so if you happen to unfortunately be at a crime scene and you're recording something, as we know that happens quite often, you can also upload that and send that in with your tip. And again, with the mobile app, you are anonymous just like you are if you call the hotline or if you go on to the internet. Once you provide that tip, the app will generate you a code number. It's just a series of 5 or 6 numbers. That is the only way that we know our tipsters from beginning to end, and that's how we protect their identity. We never once in any way, shape, or form ask any kind of information about their identity or how they're related to the tip that they're providing.
Right, and society has experienced Crime Stoppers enough now to have confidence that their identity will not be revealed. Give me an example, just in general, how society has become accustomed to that.
You know, it's actually something that we struggle with all the time, because even though we say anonymous, people, they think, oh, well, you still have caller ID or you have a way to trace my IP address with the app or the website. No, we don't. And in the 40-something years that we've been around, not once has the identity of one single tipster ever been revealed. The day that happens, we're out of business.
Right.
But because we've got that longevity of people hearing time and time again that we do not know who our tipsters are. You're never going to be called into court. You're never going to have to give a deposition. You're not involved with the process other than that anonymous tip. And and we understand that, like, especially at a crime scene, that people don't necessarily want to be seen talking to the cops all the time for whatever reason. Maybe it's retaliation or just fear of dealing with law enforcement. By calling Crime Stoppers, by reaching out to us, we're that safe place that you can provide the information about what you see, what you heard, what you know about that crime or that wanted fugitive. Provide that information, do the right thing, and if that tip ends up panning out, they get a cash reward, and that's always a big
Right,
lure.
we're going to come back to the cash reward, but I said that off the top of my head because I had never read or seen or heard about somebody complaining that they gave a tip through Crime Stoppers and their identity was identified. I just wanted to get that out there.
Yep.
Now, on the screen, we have this phone number, 800-780-TIPS. What happens at that number?
When you call that number, and that number is answered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you're going to be asked a series of questions because we want our callers to feel comfortable. We understand that if you're providing information on a crime that just happened, you may be a little nervous, you may be a little apprehensive. We're going to ask all the questions, so you just need to answer what you know. Share as much information as you can. At the end of that phone call, that tip number that I was telling you about, you're going to get that ID number. Now, that ID number is exclusive to you, and that is the only way that we know our tipsters. So when you call back in and check to see if your tip led to an arrest, or if you're calling back in to see if it's time to pick up your money, you're only going to be known by that code number from the day you provide the tip to the day you pick up the cash.
Now, reporting a crime is a two-pronged effect. one, you're doing your duty as a good citizen, and two, you can get rewarded going through that process should a conviction take place.
Just an arrest, because convictions can take so long. And
Okay.
we
Just an arrest.
Yeah, just an arrest. And we feel very confident then when law enforcement makes an arrest that they're going to have a solid enough case. They're not just going to go out and arrest somebody willy-nilly. They're going to have enough evidence to make a solid case. So we pay as soon as the arrest is made. And that reward can be anywhere from $100 up to $3,000.
Where does that money come from?
Comes from bad
Taxpayers'
guys.
dollars?
It comes from bad guys. I mean, it's a perfect system. So when someone is convicted of a crime in the court system, they have to pay a bunch of fines. One of them is a $20 fine. That's for Crime Stoppers. Of course, Tallahassee gets their $4 or $5 out of that. So we get about $15, $16 of that back in the form of a grant. And then we use bad guys' money to put more bad guys behind bars. So, no tax dollars are used to fund this program.
Okay, but my speeding ticket money, that's a different type.
That's
You're not calling me a
another
bad
ball
guy,
of
are you?
wax.
I'm
That's
still a good guy, right? But there's another pool, other kind of money that's crime type money that's used for this.
right. And that grant, so this is a program that is truly a benefit to the community. It's a win-win for everybody. We're using bad guys' money to put more bad guys behind bars. No tax dollars are used to fund this program. So we're providing a great service to the community at zero cost.
How long you been doing this, Trish?
Oh gosh, Crime Stoppers about 16 years, in law enforcement for 24.
What has surprised you?
The fact that I still have to convince people that when we say anonymous, we mean anonymous. I can say it all day long, but unless somebody knows somebody that's gone through the system and they understand that, wait a minute, nobody did ever ask my name. My name never came out. I never had to go to court. So unless we have to prove it, and all these years later, I'm still having to preach the same thing over. But when we say anonymous, we absolutely mean it.
The more people hear it, the better. From the time this first started here in Southwest Florida, I don't know if you were a part of that beginning, but you seem like you've been here for a minute. What has drastically changed for the better in terms of how you guys go about what you're doing?
Technology,
Okay.
just exactly what you were saying at the very, very beginning. Technology, the easier that we can make it for people to provide that information, the more secure that they can feel in providing that information. Some people like to talk, so that's where the hotline comes into play. Some people like to be on the computer all day, and that's the easier, more comfortable way for them to do it. We have that way, and then of course the mobile app. That's mostly used by the younger generation that seem to be on their phone for everything.
Good.
But no matter what way you feel comfortable, we want to make sure that our tipsters feel comfortable providing that information, knowing that their ID will never, ever, ever be known. And hey, at the end of the day, if you get some cash, all the good.
And you cannot be paranoid. You guys want to hear about those tips. Don't feel like, hey, it's not going to work out, or they think I'm crazy. If you think that something is suspicious, go ahead and report it.
Absolutely, and even if you think that the information you have is A, either known by law enforcement, or is B, not relevant, call us with it, because that one little thing that you're holding on to that you think, they probably already know that, or this doesn't make any difference, that may be the one thing that law enforcement needs to parlay a case forward to make an arrest. So even if you think we know that information, call us with it. And when you were talking about suspicious activity, if there's something going on in your neighborhood that you just have a gut feeling that something's not right, you don't know for a fact that it's a drug house, but you feel like something ain't right, you need to call us, because that one gut feeling that you have could mean you helping take down a drug house down in your neighborhood, and nobody wants that.
Now, you just mentioned drugs. I'm thinking hit and runs. What are some other common things that happen in society as far as crimes are concerned that people may want to keep their eye out for?
Thefts. So often there are a lot of stores in town that have really good surveillance photos. So whenever we have a good surveillance photo from a theft, it's usually a felony theft, a grand theft. We're going to put that out on social media or on TV or wherever we can. If you happen to recognize somebody that we put out there, call us. You don't have to know their full, date of birth and social security number, but if you recognize that person, say, you know what, I've seen that person, they work at a local store. I see them all the time at a certain restaurant. Call us with that information, because that may be what we need to be able to make that arrest. So always keep your eyes open. You never know when you're going to see somebody
I'm glad you
know.
made that point, because when we see those pictures on television or what have we, and if we call in, that's tapping into Crime Stoppers as well, right? With same benefits as if we didn't see them like running away from the scene.
Absolutely. It could just be that typically people that are committing thefts in our community live in our community. They're not just coming from Miami to Tampa and just kind of meandering through. They live here. So
Gotcha.
This could be your neighbors. This could be your ex. X's are a great source of information, So, if you have any information on who that person is, sometimes we just need a name, and that name could land you with some cash.
Final question. Give that various ways that people can tap into Crime Stoppers one more time.
The hotline, 1-800-780-TIPS. The website, www.southwestfloridacrimestoppers.com, or on the P3 Tips mobile app, which is a free app to download.
All right. You heard it all here. Crime Stoppers Finest is right here live. Chris Routte. We're not getting it through a secondhand source. We're getting it from right here from the coordinator on Lee Pitts Live. Thanks, Trish, for coming out and joining us again.
Thanks.